So, yesterday I spoke about, or rather, I questioned what was happiness. I was asking anyone listening what was happiness because I do not understand the concept of happiness. And thank you for those of you who responded. I'd like to take that a little further today. And I'd like to look at Khalil Gibran, who said, "Keep me away from the wisdom which does not cry. Keep me away from the philosophy which does not laugh. And keep me away from the greatness which does not bow before children." I started reading The Prophet by Khalil Gibran when I was a teenager. And it has seared itself, every word in that book has seared itself into the very sinews of my being, into the cells of my being. Antoine Saint-Exupéry, Khalil Gibran, Rumi, Hafiz, so many of the Sufi masters, so many of the French philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, have carved my own path in this world. And it's because of that and my experiences with real living human beings, in particular with the night sky, the moon, the sun, the stars, that I recognized that there's no such thing as looking for love. If we're looking for love, it means we're looking for ourselves because we are love and we've simply forgotten it. There's no looking for something that you already are. All you have to do is go internally and rediscover your own innate being. You are love. That's all it means. If you are constantly looking for somebody else to give you some kind of commendation, to validate your being, to validate what you think, feel, have to say, I suggest and I strongly invite you to take the internal journey, to go inwards. I strongly suggest you to get The Prophet by Khalil Gibran and start reading. I strongly suggest getting the book by Antoine Saint-Exupéry, Le Petit Prince, in English, The Little Prince. And if you do speak French or read French, please read it in French because the interpretation is, though it's pretty close and it's strong, I felt it wasn't as piercing as the French original version. Also read anything by Jean-Paul Sartre and Paul Camus and the Sufi masters. I strongly urge you, if you want to really discover the pure essence of your being, which is love, to do so. And you will discover that hearts united in pain and sorrow will not be separated by joy and happiness. So if you think you've lost somebody that was in your life, please know that hearts united in pain and sorrow will not be separated by joy and happiness. Bonds are woven in sadness. That bonds that are woven in sadness are stronger than the ties of joy and pleasure. Love that is washed by tears will remain eternally pure and faithful because you are love. You are that love. It's not what you enjoyed with that person that's love. It's you who are love. And now you've been washed by tears. So you will remain eternally pure and faithful to that person. So if you're grieving, please listen to this again and reread that for yourself and let it sink in. And then I invite you to read this as well. This place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. I invite you all today to reconsider that, to think about that, to go deep within yourself. If you've not started doing deep breathing exercises, I invite you to start doing so. You can release a lot of grief and sorrow, and you can release a lot of the suffering that you might be going through right now, because suffering is just something that we hold on to. That it's pain that we're holding on to unnecessarily. That's all it really is. And you just need a way to learn how to let go of that. But first you need to want to let go of it. Sometimes the only time we feel alive is in grieving or in pain. When it's time to let go, you will find a teacher to teach you how to deep breathe, or you'll find somebody who does the work that I do in relanguaging ourselves out of grieving all the time. So, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And many thanks to Rumi for this. I repeat from Rumi, your task is not to seek for love. There is no seeking. It's not externally. It's not outside of you. Your task is merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against love. So therefore that you have built against your rediscovering yourself. That's really all it is. And let's go back to Rumi, shall we? Only from the heart can you touch the sky. When you realize that you're love, and that's really the truth of your own being, you will have touched the sky. So I invite you today to touch the sky and to go on that journey of touching the sky. Why? Because true love stories never have endings. A lot of people think that after somebody has been lost to them, they're really lost. It's not true. Understanding compassion, goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes, because for those who love with heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation, and that's Rumi. So first, the love must come from yourself before it goes outward to somebody else. And then when somebody leaves before you do, then you'll understand that you've not lost love and you've not lost that person. Because true love stories never, ever have endings. And I invite you to think about that today, to live it, and to remember that happiness is a vine that takes root and grows within the heart, never outside of it. Again, happiness is a vine that takes root and grows within the heart, never outside of it. And then from Rumi again, remember that true love stories never have endings. So go forth and learn how to love yourself. It's not the path that's most traveled. In fact, everything we have created society for goes the very opposite path. So I invite you to go on this path less traveled. If you'd like more, please go to my Elegantly Raw resource page. If you are not able to find somebody who does the kind of work that I do or work with me, that's fine. Just know that there's lots and lots of resources for you. So my Elegantly Raw resource page has a lot of information that you can use. That's on Facebook, or you can go to my bio on Instagram. But please know that you do matter. And the love that you seek, you already are. You don't need to keep seeking it. That's the source of all of your suffering, is the seeking. There's nothing to seek. You aren't just thrown here willy-nilly. We live in a very generous and loving universe. It already exists and beats within you. Just coordinate your rhythm to the rhythm of the universe with every step you take in your life, with everything you eat, drink, every thought. And you will actually begin to unfold into the magic of who you are. So thanks for tuning in today. Please click the thumbs up button, the subscribe, and the notification button if this serves you in any way, so I know to continue with this every weekday, Monday to Fridays, on these Elegantly Raw tidbits.